and welcome. Raising Your Game today. I'm David Levin. This is our Tuesday episode. So we're talking about sports and sports parenting. And today I want to talk about AI and mental performance training. AI, of course, is artificial intelligence. And the question is, will AI transform mental performance training? Which sounds like an odd topic, an odd question even. But I came across something this week that was super interesting that I wanted to talk about with you. So you may have heard about this new app. It's called ChatGPT. It's basically an artificial intelligence chatbot, like the customer support window sort of chat you might use when you're contacting a company for some help. So this chat app is supposed to act like a human on the other end, basically, and it can answer almost anything and do all kinds of things, and it's pretty mind-boggling. I've heard people talk about having it write blog posts for them, articles, marketing copy. I actually asked it what it could help me with, and here's what it said. I can help with a wide range of topics. Some examples include answering questions, providing definitions and explanations, offering advice, generating text, e.g. summaries, translations, etc., solving math problems. Is there anything specific you'd like to know or work on? So you can hear that it's meaning to sound like a person in conversation, and it does a pretty amazing job. I asked it for some advice relating to boosting one's mental game, and I wanted to share its answer with you and talk about some of the lessons in there, I think, for all of us. So my question was, and of course you're just typing all this in to the box, right? My question was, how can I develop self-discipline? And here is its answer. It spit it out pretty quickly, it's just a few seconds, and I'll just read it to you here, 1 second at a time. So I've got this right here. Self-discipline is the ability to control one's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in order to achieve a specific goal. It's an important skill that can help you stay focused and motivated and to make progress towards your goals. So that's pretty good, right? Fair description. It might have it a little backwards. In my mind, it seems to me that focus and motivation are what give you self-discipline. But I can sort of see the other way around too. I mean, it's definitely demotivating to not have self-discipline. Anyway, continuing on. Here are a few tips that may help you to develop self-discipline. Set specific and achievable goals. By setting clear and specific goals, you can focus your efforts and stay motivated. Make sure your goals are realistic and achievable, as this will help you to see progress and stay motivated. That's wild. So I will say I'm noticing the writing a little bit. It says stay motivated a couple of times. I might have tried to avoid that myself as a writer. Also, it sounds like that is the goal, right? Want to stay motivated. And it's also getting a little bit circular. The main benefit, it said from earlier, is to make progress toward your goals, but the first tip is to set goals. I guess they're saying poorly designed goals are less likely to succeed, which, I can agree with that. But that's not really about developing self-discipline. And it's also starting to sound a little generic. But again, remember, it's an AI, right? It's not a person. So I've got to give it a little break, I guess. Here's the second tip. Make a plan. Develop a plan or strategy for achieving your goals and break it down into smaller, manageable steps. This can help you stay focused and on track. This is sort of true, but it's not really developing self-discipline either. It's just lowering the resistance to being disciplined by making things easier. There's also definitely a theory you can hear in here that the point is to be successful with a goal, which might not actually be the core point of performance training. Unless, of course, you say the goal is to perform at a higher level. All right, here we go. Tip number 3, practice self-awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and try to identify any patterns or habits that may be holding you back. By becoming more aware of your own behavior, you can start to make changes and develop self-discipline. This one I like. This is getting close to the heart of it. Self-awareness is step 1 for sure and can be super helpful even on its own. It doesn't say how one would actually start to make changes, but it's on the right track. Going to give it points for that one. Next tip, find accountability. excuse me, having someone to hold you accountable, such as a coach or mentor, can help you stay motivated and on track. Sharing your goals with others can also provide a sense of accountability and support. Accountability is a great idea, of course, but again, it's not really developing self-discipline. It's just helping you achieve a goal. You could say even it's the opposite of self-discipline. It's relying on others for your discipline. Still a good suggestion, though. Tip number 5, practice self-care. Taking care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally can help you build self-discipline. This may include things like eating a healthy diet, getting enough sleep, and finding time for relaxation and self-care. That makes me laugh a little bit. This is, of course, pretty generic and even a bit of a stretch. It's true when you're tired or hungry, it's harder to have self-discipline. Definitely true. So it's not completely off the mark, but it's a little thin. It's a little thin. And then the close. By implementing these strategies, you can start to develop self-discipline and make progress toward your goals. So that is the AI's response to my simple question. And I should point out, it's just the first question I asked. One of the things that's unique about this app is that you can continue to drill down, like in a real conversation. It knows and remembers what was said before for context. So, at one level, it's really pretty mind-blowing. You can ask it almost anything and get a real answer. Of course, you can Google anything too, but it doesn't actually give you the answer. It just points you to articles that hopefully give you answers. This gives you actual answers to your questions directly. It's crazy. And things are about to get very, very different in many areas of our lives. But to the question of the post, I don't believe it will have an impact on mental performance training, at least not for a while. Here's the thing, and it has to do with this particular app's one big limitation. And by the way, they tell you this when you first sign up. But the knowledge that's being called on for these answers is basically everything on the internet, which is a lot, but it's everything before 2021. So it's slightly out of date. You can't ask it hardly anything about what's going on right now. So it's not going to be as helpful in areas that are changing, and especially changing rapidly, like mental performance training. Also, in those kind of areas, those rapidly changing areas, the answers may actually be wrong and misleading because they haven't changed enough, right? I mean, because the answers have changed so much and the app doesn't know about it. And again, they tell you that, but you can see it in the advice it gave to my question on how to develop self-discipline. It's not totally wrong, but it's also not that helpful, and it's definitely stuck in older paradigms. There's nothing there about a mechanics-based approach and how much faster, more effective that is. It's pretty generic and superficial. It's just not that helpful. So that's why AI, in my opinion, is not going to have a big impact in this area, at least not this kind of AI. If there are others out there that can do what some other things do, like in medicine, for example, and maybe detect psychological patterns we miss, or deconstruct the process of what happens when we get triggered, maybe that's an area for some breakthroughs. I have no idea if there's anything like that out there. But this kind of general knowledge is basically no more helpful than what you'd get from anyone working in the area who's not really up to date with the latest developments. And just a little further comment. This isn't sports specific, but there's a concern here that I think is worth thinking about. So this service, as I've said, is truly amazing. And for certain kinds of things, it will be revolutionary. It's so easy and capable. There's just no way people aren't going to be using this more and more. But I'm afraid it's going to hurt our ability to think things through and to analyze the situation, and definitely to write, because again, it's so easy. And it's a good writer for basic things like this. GPS has made us worse at remembering and understanding directions. Spell check has made us worse at spelling. And AI like this that can write short pieces for us will very likely make us worse at writing and thinking. It's possible I'm wrong about this, of course, but even just this first quick exposure and interaction with it There's just no way people are not going to use this for all kinds of things that currently require some level of thought and writing skills. So I just have some concerns, and they're only going to get worse as the systems get better. Anyway, that's an aside. What I wanted to talk about today is the question, will AI transform mental performance training? And my take is no, it really won't. Not at all. At least not this kind of AI, and not at this point. It's going to radically change many other things, but for now, the mental game is not on that list. All right, that is today's episode. If you like what you heard, please do tell your friends and rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your pods. Every positive review helps more people find the show and get a helpful mental game boost. If you like video, we post all our episodes on our YouTube channel as well, which you already know if you're watching this on video, but there's a link to that in the notes if you're listening to the audio pod. For more mental game goodness, please join our free community, the Raise Your Inner Game Charging Station. Click the link here or go to raiseyourinnergame.com/community. Totally free. I think you'll love it. If you'd like to support the show so we can keep things ad-free, please click the Buy Me a Coffee link below, and thank you for that. And if you have teenagers in sports, check out our Mental Game Starter Kit. It's a great set of resources to get you started on the path of helping your child boost their mental game. Again, raiseyourinnergame.com, scroll to the bottom. You can learn about it and register there. It's all free, of course. Super helpful. And finally, we'll close with Steve Prefontaine, our favorite, his quote from the end of the Raise Your Inner Game book. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice your gift. AI or not, that's what we're doing, folks. We're working to be our best. It is the gift that keeps on giving, and the world needs as much of it as it can get. So keep up the good work, and we'll see you next time.